Owen Abbas Hussain here from Seconds Out, here with former fighter, now trainer, doing his bits and bats for the other fighters now. Kevin Mitchell. Kev, how's it going? How's life treating you?
Yeah, I've been good, mate. Yeah, very well. Training the fighters hard. It's going really good. Yeah, I've obviously got Jordan Flynn now. I've got Ohara Davies with Will Jones. With me, work partnered up with Will Jones, Sonny Ali. I was training with the kids at the West Ham Boxing Club. But yeah, I'm loving it again now. I'm back enjoying the sport again.
I was going to ask you that actually. A lot of fighters, sort of, when they leave boxing, they don't know what to do. Some try the media game, some try doing training. Try training fighters. Generally, not. Sometimes it doesn't work for them. But for yourself, you're happy in the game. You feel like this is where you want to be.
Yeah, definitely. Years ago, obviously after fights, my generation would be out in the pubs beering. Okay. Tony Sims planted him, as Tony Sims after the championships, obviously there was a lot of fighters. He used to bring me in the gym after my fights and have me train the fighters. So he'd go on oddly, and I'd train all my mates like Ricky Burns, Johnny Ryder, Martin Wolds, and I'd train them Felix Cashes. And Tony just planted the seed in me. I knew what he was doing. Well, I didn't at the time, but now I realise. So yeah, I've just gone down that route. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Thanks to Tony.
Let's talk about why you're here first of all. One of your fighters is on the Josh Taylor Consong card, in Jordan Flynn. For people that haven't seen him, or people that are not aware of him, what can your fighter? What sort of fighter is he? And what's his record at the moment?
Well, he's very raw. He's 1-0 as a pro. I think he had about 60 amateur bouts. He won like 2 or 3 national titles. It's going to take time to transcend him into a full-fledged pro. He's learning. We got offered a fight for over 6 rounds against his opponent. We said yes, and he's ready to go. Like, he's always in shape. He's always in the gym sparring, doing things and he's progressing. So yeah, what you can expect him is a very good box fighter. I think in the next 2 years you'll see him transcend and change more of his ability. Will go up. So yeah, at the minute he's just working on things.
I want to talk about another fighter you mentioned there, Ohara Davies. Yeah. Ohara, we know, was training with Angel Fernandez. Yeah. And I know Angel's gone up to Loughborough. I went to see him a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. What was the decision making there? Did Ohara reach out to you, and basically did you have a couple of sessions and it just worked out?
You know what? I trained Ohara before. I've trained Ohara for years. I trained him when we fought Josh Taylor. I was in the corner that night, so I've done a lot with Ohara before for years. I've obviously sparred him for years. I know Angel not through to this meeting of training Ohara. Basically, my brother's mate from years ago, Will Jones, and Angel were friends.
Okay.
Angel said to Will, "Can you start training Ohara? I'm moving up to Loughborough. I ain't got time to train Ohara." So Will said, "Yeah." Will's run me up and said, "Kev, would you want to come to a meeting with me?" I said, "What about that?" So I come to have a coffee with him. It's on a lines basis, like. We're training Ohara. I need his map set out, his routine set out, how you used to train him and how you go about training him properly for a big championship fight. I said, listen, get us all sitting on a meeting. I said, I'll tell Ohara how I'm going to work. He knows how I work. I don't mess around. Very old school in ways like that. I think it's important to be like that. I just said to him, don't mess about. Don't mess about times. Be on time. Do as I say. Good fighters do it themselves. If you've got a good fighter and you guide them right, they do it themselves, I believe, in a way. If you've got someone over there that ain't got a clue what he's doing, he's not going to go, he ain't going to train well, is he? If you've got a good fighter, if you're like Billy Joe does it himself, Canelo, as long as they're guided by good trainers, they do it themselves. But he stuck to a strict regime with me. Been training very hard, sparring great. I've had some big southpaws in sparring with him, middleweights, super middleweights, southpaw sparring with him. He's ready, man. I've got him perfect. Yeah, I think I talked to him about things like when I lost to experiences, my own experiences. When I lost at Upton Park and that nearly broke me. But then what he'd done, I then rebuilt myself. And when I fought like Ramirez and I mixed it back up that level again, that it changed me. I said to him, as we've been out and running runs and things, I've run with him and things like me and Will go out jogging with him. I said life experiences and boxing experiences, they mould you. I said, you'll never make the same mistake again. I said, in the way you are now from how I've trained you before, you seem like a lot more different. And that's an experience that I can't give. You've done it from yourself. I think he's in a really good headspace. He's training unbelievable. He's enjoying what he's doing again. And he's loving it. So, yeah, it's going to be... We've got to respect the best of the kid that we've got on Wednesday, but I think we'll be all right.
Actually, just talking about what you're saying there in regards to fighters changing trainers, a fighter that has changed trainer now is Billy Joe Saunders, and you mentioned him there, which is why I just thought about it. Moving over to Mark Tibbs from Ben Davison.
He's a good friend of mine, Billy Joe.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I wanted to ask you. In regards to sort of changing trainers, firstly, you know Billy Joe quite well.
Yeah.
Do you know why he does keep on sort of changing trainers? He's never really stuck to one trainer.
Ben's more like his mate.
Okay.
And I think Billy Joe needs someone more strict on his case.
Okay.
Where like it's horses for courses, I believe. Like I think Josh Taylor and Ben work together great.
Okay.
Because Josh is very strict on himself already.
Okay.
And Ben's got the right mindset to teach him game plans and tricks, and they gel. But Billy Joe's probably like me. I don't know. He's like me. I know he's wild. He needs someone out to controlling him, making sure he ain't doing this, telling him off, and controlling his outside life. But like it's horses for courses. And I think Mark Tibbs has trained with him before. Mark knows he's got to be strict on him, and I think that'll work for them.
Okay, and in regards to change trainers, you've done it before as well. When you were, was it the same situation with yourself that you needed something a bit more strict? So what was the situation with yourself?
Early on in my life, it was when you're a young pro, you're very vulnerable, you're very easily influenced like on. Oh, he's a good guy. Oh, he's great. And as you're a kid, you believe all the hype and all the crap that goes with it, like with certain trainers. But realistically, as I got older, I realised that I needed someone that was like basically cared about me outside the ring, more of like a life coach than just a coach. I needed someone that worried about me outside the ring. Like Tony was like my dad when I was a 15-year-old kid. He used to look after me and guide me as a kid and that. And he'd done that late on and off. He still does it now. I've been retired 5 years. And that's where I've learnt from trainers, and that's where I've learnt from like Tony Sims and that.
Let's talk about Josh Taylor, somebody that you've watched obviously over the last couple. And I know you're a friend, and I know you're a fan as well. He's fighting a super lightweight. You were fighting a lightweight at that time. You've seen what he's done in the last couple of fights, become a world champion, holding 2 of the 4 belts. Just talk to me about the talent on offer there.
I just think. Just talking to a gentleman downstairs, I think it stems from his background, his pedigree. He's unbelievable, isn't he? He's got to be the best we've got. I say to my son's a good little amateur fighter now. I say to him, if you want to watch anyone, and he's a southpaw as well, so you've got to watch Josh. I say you want to learn to box, but that's done with hardship in the gyms, like being away in Russia, being away in Italy, being away as kids, like learning the trade. Like he's unbelievable. He's probably the best we've got, and I think I don't see nothing stopping him.
That big fight that everyone wants to see, hopefully on Saturday night, if he beats Konsong, is a unification clash against Jose Ramirez. What do you make of that one? Do you believe that Josh beats everyone in this division?
I think he beats everyone in the division. I think he does what he chooses. I think he can move up and go again. I think he's that good. His ability is that good. He don't get hit much. He's unbelievable to watch. Isn't he? Everyone watches. It's not as clear to see what he is. He's unreal. I think he wipes the whole division clean. Yeah. I think he does what he wants after that. He can either move up or just keep in the same division.
Fair enough. I just want to move over to a couple of fights that have been announced. First of all, let's talk about a fight that's going to happen very soon. A big clash in the world. Vasyl Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. A big clash that's been touted for, I think, 2 weeks' time or something like that. Talk to me about that one. Who do you see winning that fight?
It's a good fight, and I'm really a big fan of Lomachenko, and I watched him and that. But what I like about this kid who's fighting is that he's a humble guy. He don't like the arrogance. Yeah. I met Loma, I went to shake his hand, and he was like that. And he's like, it was rude, but that's just his style. That's the way he holds himself. But I think he makes a very good fight. I don't see anyone beating. As long as Loma don't jump up ridiculous weights, I don't see anyone beating Loma. I think he's probably one of the best pound. He's the best pound for pound. He's unbelievable. He's a freak.
Let's talk about something on these shows. Dillian Whyte, Alexander Povetkin. I know the fight a couple of weeks ago, did it end up the way Dillian wanted? He was sort of winning that fight, and then all of a sudden, as per heavyweight boxing, you can get hit with a punch and it.
You can't switch off. You've got to be on point. Like when you fight like Cedars and Ramirez, like don't get me wrong. Some nights I've got it right, and some nights I've got it wrong. But you switch off, you'll sleep. And that's literally that's the truth in the game. In the heavyweight division, you get with a jab, you get knocked spark out. So in that weight division, but I believe he'll come back and beat him. I think he'll beat him easy.
Okay, I was going to ask you about.
And he deserves his big shot, because what you don't realise, what fans don't understand, the public, is that he's been waiting 1,000 days. It's not about the championship because like he could go and win that. Boxing is boxing. Anyone can win. It's his payday. It's what he deserves. Like he's got himself where he should be, and he deserves his payday.
Another fighter that's been around as long as you were around as well back in the day is Del Boy, Dereck Chisora. I know he's a good friend of yours. In a tough fight, Alexander Usyk, unified that cruiserweight division, going up to heavyweight. There is question marks regarding him going up that way. What do you think will happen?
I think it's dangerous for him. Del Boy's like a good friend of mine. I love Del Boy. I was up at the West End the other month. I was training in the park. As I walked down the street with one of my friends called Sophie, someone punches me in the back, so I spin around for a tear-up. And you got him with his arms open. So he gives me a big cuddle. But I just don't want to see him ever get hurt. I love Del Boy. Listen, Del Boy's game, as long as he's fit, I always say to him, if I see you out running, Del, I said, I know you're sweat, I know you. If I see you on social media that you run every day, I see like videos of you running, I know you're fit. If I don't see it and you've got to fight, I know he's not fit. But as long as he's out running and he's in good shape and he's fit, he's a threat to anyone, isn't he, Del Boy? Just don't want to see Del Boy getting hurt.
Do you feel like in that fight then that there's more question marks over Usyk than there is Del Boy, because we know what we gain from Del Boy. If he's at his peak, we know that he can trouble anyone. If he isn't, then unfortunately Usyk should win that fight. But is it?
If Usyk ain't switched on and he's thinking this is a blowover, and Del Boy turns up in great shape and he's on it, we're fighting our hands, aren't we?
Of course. Final question in a fight I want to talk about. Someone you've known very well throughout your career is Anthony Joshua. He's fighting Pulev later on this year. But the talk has always been for the last 2 years, or maybe more, is a Tyson Fury fight. If they were to clash in 2021, providing he beats Pulev, Tyson Fury beats Wilder, how do you see that one playing out? Yeah, promoters, how do you see that one?
All the years I've been boxing, I was a pro for 13 years. Yeah. I've never seen them promoters get on like I just don't see it. But I think if it does happen, I think you thank MTK for it happening, because MTK, if they say something, they do it and they get the job done. For me, Tyson's dangerous to him. He's the best. He's the best at. His pedigree stands from a long time as a kid. Like, if you look at AJ's amateur career, he won the gold, which is great, and AJ is a really close friend of mine. But he's green in that sense. Do you understand me? Yeah. Where he's done a lot more. Tyson, he's been beaten, this and that. AJ's been beaten, he's come back. But then yet again, it's a 50-50. Anyone win, but if he was going to be a big gambling man, I'd go with Tyson. But AJ's been mate, so. What'd you say?
Actually, last question I want to ask you is, we're in this sort of crazy period that we're in at the moment with COVID-19. Fighters are not fighting as much as they want to. There's no fans in. And it seems at this present time the big fights can't be made. We're seeing at the moment with Daniel Dubois, Joyce, even to that caliber, which is a world title fight. It's more British level between two.
Dubois is, for me, he's probably one of the best. Yeah. You watch him creep through next 12 months, 2 years. He's probably, I'm friends with him as well. I'm a fan of the sport. Even though boxing, I still love the sport. And his sister's another freak as well. His sister's a freak. But for me, I think the world is the worst, man. As long as he can beat any of them. Like, as long as he's guided right and no one's trying to rip him off and he's safe. He's probably, he's the biggest danger out of them all. And yet he's very quiet. He don't talk. He's just quiet. Turns up, he's at my son's fast fight in Dagenham. Tracksuit on, sitting there. Had a few laughs with him, but I said to my son, to that guy there, he's gonna be the next big thing.
We're just talking about that. Then the fights are not. They don't look like they're getting made with no fans in the arena, and we know that Boris has said there's going to be no more fans.
I was in the queuing up to go on that West Bank. Opposite the road was a pub with 80 people in there. All kinds of shit going on. But queue up to go into a bank. Boris ain't got a clue what he's doing. This thing was happening, the pandemic was happening before Christmas. And they shut us down 3 or 4 months too late. As in with the pandemic, I just think like it's over now. Obviously it's still floating about a bit, but personally I think they know what's going on. There's more underlying in this, and they're keeping secrets to us all. And it's propaganda, like they know what's going on. We don't have a clue. We're like sheep. And wearing these silly masks on trains, I go on trains every day. whatever you want to say about it, but you've got aircon on them trains, right? One person's got that disease on that train, and the aircon's on them trains, that's going to fly around. Rather them silly masks out to save you. If you're in a restaurant, aircon, someone's got it. There's more to what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing.
Just my question in regards to that then. These fights are not going to get made because unless there's fans in there, unless there's pay-per-views and stuff. Do you feel like fighters may need to start taking a pay cut to make fights happen? Do you see that happening?
No, I don't think they should.
Okay.
I was a fighter come out of sport. I should have made a lot more money than I did. And the last thing as a fighter should do is take a pay cut, because this game is fucking ruthless, mate. When you're finishing your skin, mate, nobody gives two cares about you. When you're up there and you're selling out football stadiums and things like that, everyone's your best mate. So these fighters deserve any penny they get and chuck on another 25-30%.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. No fighters take no pay cuts. If promoters want to put on the shows, promoters take a pay cut, managers take a pay cut, the fighters get what they get. I've been around this game for years, trust me, I know the sport. Fighters deserve every penny they get. Managers should take less, promoters should take less, not the fighters.
I get that.
You think some fighter lucky to go and get 30 fights in his program? After 30 fights, he's done. He either goes and finds a new job, but if he ain't smart with his money, that money, so he's taking less money, no.
I get that. Kev, thank you very much. I know you've got to go, and there is a late event running upstairs with undercard press conference or undercard fighters. So thank you very much for talking to myself. It's been a pleasure. I will do. Top man, take care, Kev, and I'll see you soon. Take care.